Under the video on how to fit 100 games onto a Commodore C64 cassette, the Retrogralnia channel, whose creators I warmly greet, challenged me to show the conversion in the opposite direction, which is transferring games from tape to TAP files. If you would like to back up Commodore cassettes, then this episode is just for you. Hey, this is Adam Strad. I have already described on the channel how to record a cassette with almost 100 games for Commodore. Now it's time to show you how to back up your cassettes. The first and most important is the correct recording of the audio signal from the tape to a WAV file. After some tests, it turned out that while the cassette player we use to read has an impact on the quality of the file, the tolerance here is really high. The most problems comes from the way we are recording the data signal. If you intend to use this kind of an external USB sound card with a microphone input that only records in mono, you can save yourself time and nerves by putting it back to a drawer. Similarly, using a stereo with direct recording function, so with the ability to record directly to USB, will not bring good results. In my case, the files were usable when recorded by a Tascam digital dictaphone and an Edirol sound card. So if you have problems with recognizing blocks in the TAPX program, do not look for another cassette player, but try changing the recording device. Also, do not set the volume on the cassette player to a maximum level because usually they have poor amplifiers and the signal will be distorted. My tests have shown that it's better to reduce the volume on the player to half of scale or even 1/3 and boost it through a good quality sound card or dictaphone. As for the program for recording sound from a computer's audio input, the Audacity will be enough. For good quality input devices, recording in mono, in 44 kHz and 16-bit PCM will be good enough. In case of any problems, you can try recording it in stereo and deleting the track that has a poorer recording quality. We set the volume with overdrive, so it is a good idea to turn off the clipping view in Audacity. It is important that we see those two darker bars at the top and at the bottom. When the entire game or the entire tape has been copied, we need to cut off the unnecessary noise from the beginning and the end. We can still turn up the gain if the signal does not fill the entire waveform view at the top and bottom. Now we invert the wave by selecting Effects and Invert from the top menu. Finally, we save the file to disk. The second step is downloading the TAPX program from the CSDB website. The author of TAPX is Tom Roger Scowen, known as SLC, who also visits this channel. So warm greetings to you, Tom, and big thanks for the great conversion tools. But going back to the topic, we unpack the TAPX zip archive. After executing the program, we open our WAV file and go to the View tab. On the right side, select File Details from the list and check if the game blocks have been read correctly. In this case, I have the correct header and turbo tape data blocks. I can delete everything else. You can try the Clean button or delete unrecognized blocks in the Tools menu. And that's it. I can now save the file to tap and test it in the emulator. Just a note, I have a turbo tape here for which I need a cartridge or an additional loader on tape or diskette. On the physical hardware, I use black box cartridge, so I decided to use the CRT file in the Vice emulator. Unfortunately, although the game loaded, everything hung every time I tried to start it. I thought the cause was in the TAP file, but as it turned out, it was black box fault. All versions cause the emulator to hang when trying to start the game. Finally, I used the floppy with ABC Turbo Loader and everything worked. But why do we need a game that requires a cartridge or a floppy if SlushLoad works faster and does not require any add-ons? So first we need to download the TAP to PRG program. We unpack the zip archive and run it in Linux through Wine. We choose the first option to convert from TAP or WAV to PRG. Note, we have to set the loader manually. The name of the loader is visible in the View and Report tabs of the TAPX program, so you should choose something similar here and check if it works. In my case, it is the Turbo Tape Loader. Now we select destination as PRG and the save path. After clicking OK, we can select the TAP file. And if everything goes well, we have a game in a PRG file that we can run directly in the emulator. Now we can also convert the file back to TAP using SlushLoad. This way it will load faster and the game will not need any additional cartridge. So that's it for today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and click the bell icon so you don't miss any new content. I wish you a lot of fun and see you soon.